Hi, Mark, and thank you for having me. And I really appreciate this because I can't tell you enough how much this has helped me. However, just to go back to what you're saying, who I am, well, I'm Chantal, and I've got two parts to me. I'm a mindfulness coach, and I also have created my own natural skincare range. So this started many years ago, and when I went into it, I had no clue about business, let alone about finances. So, I wasn't brought up with that. I was at that era where we weren't brought up about money. We're meant to be married, perhaps a secretary. So it was never, ever a thought that I could do what I wanted to do. However, I did break that mold. But by breaking that mold, I went against a few things. But what I then realized was that I didn't have the skills nor the financial, I suppose, skill on how to run a business and also in my personal life. Well, before I came into boot camp, I was actually very ignorant. And what had happened was I had actually inherited, and I don't say this to many people, so this is quite a big thing for me to open up. I'd actually inherited quite a reasonable amount of money. And even on the one hand, I was very wise with it. So I bought property because that's what you do in Australia, whereas in Europe, I was brought up where that you rented. So I did buy property and I had money and I had my business. But what I didn't realize was how to have return on investment, what cash flow meant, all those sort of things. So what was my attitude towards money? In addition, I had a car accident. Just as I was starting up. So why I'm saying that to you was because that sent me into a whole spin of pain, fear, lawyers. So I actually lost track of my business. And why I'm saying that is I lost track of the financial aspect of my business. So I had this money available, but I was spending it without really thinking about how was I spending it, why was I spending it, was I getting return on investment, as I said earlier. So as a consequence, before I got into boot camp, I was really struggling with this. And then, of course, I was struggling with a failure, that I didn't know anything about money and who was I, who did I think I was to be able to do this. And I'm a woman. And as I said, beforehand, I was brought up, as a woman, I was meant to be cared for. And I never believed in that. So that was before boot camp. The first big aha I had was, I'm not alone. And it's okay to have had struggled. I mean, I still have a little bit of not being okay with that. But the first aha was, I'm not alone. And that this is normal or can be normal and that others go through stuff as well. And that was a big, big release because then at the moment I didn't have to hide so much. It was okay to share. It was okay to talk because you're not alone. You're not alone. It's an interesting question to ask what was my biggest win, because I think I've had many wins. And I was thinking about that, over the last one, particularly to talk for others. My biggest win I've actually gone blank about that at the moment because there's so many different ones. But I think it's about my understanding of what money means. It's becoming a friend with money. Money is my friend. Because when I did inherit the money, unfortunately, I inherited a history and I inherited a negative and violent history in addition. So I had quite a detachment towards money. I didn't understand how to embrace money and how to work money and how that I deserved this money because I always saw it as, in this case, blood money. So therefore, I translated that across to running my business because I didn't know how to take money from people. I didn't know that I deserved to have money. So my biggest aha was that I actually deserved to have money. And I deserve to be who I am. My business now, my finances are coming back because it's taken a while. So my business is settled. I feel a lot more confident. I have a very different attitude toward money. The money is flowing in, still not quite where I want it to be. However, I know I'm well on the road. And I always know when I have a moment, I can dip back into boot camp. I can keep going back. And I'm just rereading Lucky Beach again, which I had read a few years ago. And I'm thinking, oh, this is interesting. I'm seeing it in a whole different way now to what I did then. So it's taking me to another level. Oh, my advice would be do it. And it can bring up issues around money because it did for me too. And I and should I, should not. All I can say is just do it. Because what I love about being part of boot camp is that it's for life. I can keep tapping in. I always have it available to me. I can always go back. I can dip in and out. That is what I love about it. So that is one recommendation about the boot camp is that do it, join, you have it for life. And there is so much information there. And that's why I like having it for life because then it gives me the space to be able to tap into it when I need to. So if I want to do the tapping or the reading or go back to the manifesting or whatever it is, I can do it in my time without that pressure. If you've only just joined in your first week, stay with it. Because initially it can feel overwhelming. Of course, you might have buyer's remorse, which is what I did. Is this going to work? So it's not so much only trusting that the boot camp does work and what Denise has provided, but it's actually trusting yourself. So I had to actually learn to trust myself that this is what I was meant to be doing and hanging in there. Because what can happen, well, what happened for me was that you don't see progress, then you begin to think, why am I doing this? And then you think, oh, I'm a failure. And that can be the process. So what you do is just hang in there, because something is happening at another level. It's just that you can't always see what is happening. Denise, thank you. All I can really say is a big thank you from my heart, mind and soul. Because what you've done for me is shown me that it can be done. I just love reading your books because it's down to earth. You don't pretend to be anything other than who you are. You're not saying here to make millions. You're not trying to be anything else. And that is what I love because it keeps me anchored. It keeps me grounded. Yet it keeps me able to think about it's okay for me to be wealthy. It's okay for me to have money. And that is what I love about you, Denise, is just be who you are and nothing else. Just you, and that's what I love.